Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we are sharing our Amtrak Vacation itinerary. It is a 12-day U.S. Grand Loop tour.
On this video, we're going to give you everything you need to book this trip, from hotels to things to do to trains you need to ride. So stick with us. This is going to be a great video if you're planning a trip on Amtrak soon. This is going to be one that goes, it's one of our first ones we ever did, wasn't it?
It is, as a matter of fact, the very first kind of Amtrak vacation that we put together. So this one is kind of near and dear to our hearts. And we've actually done it like 2 other times, right? Yeah, so we love this one. If you want to see the whole of the U.S., this is the vacation to do. So kind of give us an overview, Rob.
Okay, so your major cities you're going to be dealing with on this trip are going to be Chicago, Seattle, and San Francisco. And you can start in any major city. So whichever one you're closest to, you're going to want to go to that city to start your trip, because you're going to be riding 3 trains, the Empire Builder, the Coast Starlight, and the California Zephyr. That's going to take us 12 days, and it's going to be an amazing trip. And the cost will be dependent on if you're riding in coach or in sleeper car. Approximately $1,900 for a couple in coach, and $4,500 per couple in a roomette.
Okay, good. That's actually doesn't sound too bad. That's doable for both of those, yeah?
Yeah, so how you do a lot of the booking for us. First thing is you're going to have to learn how to book this. Where do you recommend booking if you're just going to do this on your own?
So my favorite way of booking is booking on the app, because it is so easy. It's right there on my phone at my fingertips, and I could book at any time, and it doesn't affect time zone or anything like that. So that is my favorite way to book, and that's how I would recommend. And Rob will discuss more about, planning it out and timing wise and days in between and all that kind of stuff. But make sure you have all those dates in front of you when you get ready to book. Now, if you feel more comfortable, it might be easier to call the 1-800-USA-RAIL, and they will help you do all of them in the right order and all that kind of good stuff, yeah?
Right. So for this trip, we are starting in Chicago, and I want you to feel free, though, to add in extra days. So if you get to Seattle and you want 3 days there instead of 2, add in a day. That's no problem. And you can do it in any direction you want also. Everything will be the same. You just got to book your tickets in that order. So we're going to arrive to Chicago, because most people don't live in Chicago. We're going to arrive there. The first day, we're going to get a hotel, and we got a couple recommendations for hotels. It's going to be the Hyatt Place downtown Chicago, the Loop, or the La Quinta, which is also near the station. What do you love about those? I
love both of those because they are brands that we have stayed with before. Those are both really nice, newer type hotels, especially the La Quinta. That's actually not a brand we stay with a lot, but that is practically a new hotel, so it's really nice and really super good condition and good rooms there, and they're both so close to the station you can just walk.
Right, yeah. Also, before you start booking these, you do want to have your guest rewards. And if you have your guest rewards account, you'll start to earn points on all these trips, and you can accrue a lot of things and get free trips on Amtrak just for having that before you start. Also, if you're going to be staying at the Hyatt or the Marriott or the Hilton, which you are going to be doing on these trips, because those are the hotels that are close to the stations, you should be using the branded hotel credit card to get bonus points on those. We have a channel with all the information on how to get those cards, and that information is also on the blog at groundedlifetravel.com. So, hotels in Chicago, they can really run a price difference, can't they, between the summer and the winter?
Huge difference. You know if you're looking in summer or winter when you see those prices. There's a big difference. What are the prices you can expect depending on when you go?
In the winter, we usually pay like $77 a night.
which seems silly for a town like Chicago. That's not a lot.
In the summer, though, it's about $250 a night. So that's going to make a difference too in your pricing. But that first night, you're going to check into, I would say, the Hyatt Place or the La Quinta, and then you got time to go get some dinner. Where can you look for dinner in Chicago?
Now, the thing about Chicago is it is a food town. They have so many incredible things that you can try, from Italian beef sandwiches to the Chicago hot dogs, and obviously pizzas. And there are a lot of very strong opinions about where you should go to all of those things. But I think in general, Portillo's is basically the place where you should go for the Chicago hot dog. But there's obviously a lot of choices on where you can go for the pizzas. Some people like Giordano's, some people like Gino's East, some people like Lou Malnati's. We've tried them all. If you've seen our videos, we give a review on all those different ones. And then, of course, going to Al's Beef for one of those famous Italian beef sandwiches. There's a lot of really good choices of places to eat.
Yeah, we love it. Lou Malnati's is a new favorite, though.
See, he already kind of showed his hand on which one he liked the best.
So the next day, you're going to wake up and you're going to hop on the Empire Builder. So you've got to book this trip from Chicago to Seattle. So you're going to type in CHI and SEA for your stations for that. Seattle's a little tricky because there is also a station in Seattle called SVF, which is a ferry terminal. And if you put that in by accident, it'll say there's nothing available. So don't do that. And you can choose between a sleeper car or a coach on this trip. But you're going to get to start on the Empire Builder. Day one, your first train, Chicago, Great Metropolitan Lounge. What do you want to do there?
Oh, definitely arrive early enough to the station to take some time to enjoy the Metropolitan Lounge. There's tons of space on the main level when you walk in. There is a place for you to store your bags, and that is very safe. It's in a room right next to the Metropolitan Lounge attendants. And once you get in there, they also have a little snack station with beverages and just little snacks and things that you can eat. And there's also an upstairs area as well. I think a lot of people don't know that that's up there, but there is an upstairs lounge area. That's usually where people run into us, because we usually sneak up there because there's not a lot of people up there. Most people are waiting downstairs in the main area. So arrive early enough that you can do that. If you want to eat something like a meal before you get on the train, you can always head to the food court in Union Station upstairs. Just leave the Metropolitan Lounge and go up the escalator, and you'll see the food court up there. Can get all kinds of delicious food, and then head back and wait for your train.
Yeah, they have all kinds of food there, but we always get Chick-fil-A.
We do. Yeah. That is true. Literally in my head, I was thinking, you can get all kinds of food, and in my head, I thought, Chick-fil-A, which is what we always get. Yeah. We're from Atlanta, so
if you see
we've been trained.
If you see us in the lounge there, we'll probably have Chick-fil-A with us.
We'll be standing there with our Chick-fil-A lemonade and chicken sandwich.
So that first day on the Empire Builder, you're heading west, and it is a very beautiful day. If you can be on the north side of the train, that's the side to be on. You will have a Mississippi River crossing on this route, so you can see that from either side. But just for the whole ride, the north side is going to be the best side. The best side. So day 3 of this trip, which is going to be your second day on the Empire Builder, you're totally on the train the whole day, and the highlight of it is when you arrive at Glacier National Park late into the evening.
Yes, and depending on the timing of your train, the last time we rode the Empire Builder, we were running a little bit late, which worked out really well because it was right at sunset as you're passing through Glacier National Park. It was so beautiful. If you haven't seen that video, then definitely check that out here on the channel, because that was gorgeous. The views were spectacular.
Very beautiful. The Empire Builder is super underrated as a train. So the next day is going to be your last day on the Empire Builder, and you're going to see views of Puget Sound, other things like that coming into Seattle. It will also be beautiful. Again, the north side is the side you want to be on. And when you arrive into Seattle, you have some choices for hotels. What do you like to do there?
The easiest choice is the Embassy Suites directly across the street from King Street Station. You walk out of the station, you cross a little walkway, and you're in the hotel. That's it. It's just right there, out and across.
Yeah. And the specific name of that is called Embassy Suites Seattle Downtown Pioneer Square, if you're looking for that. Last time we were there, they upgraded us too, didn't they?
They did. They upgraded us, said they had extra rooms and upgraded us to a higher floor, view of the city, gorgeous.
Yeah, so we usually would book 2 nights there, because if you book 2 nights there, you'll get 1 full day to explore Seattle, which is what we're going to do on day 5 of this trip, is explore Seattle. And what are some of your favorite things to do in Seattle for that free day?
I'm a total sucker for all the tourist stuff that there is to do in Seattle. There's tons of stuff to do there, but a couple of my favorite things are obviously to go see the Space Needle, and it's just a nice area to walk around. I don't go up in the Space Needle because I'm not a heights person, if you know that, but it is beautiful to go down to. Also like Pike's Place Market. That's really fun too, to go in, and if you're lucky, they'll be throwing fish around in there too. Last time we were so lucky, walked up, and just as I walked up, just a few seconds later, a few other people showed up, and they started slinging fish, and they were literally right in the face of the camera throwing fish. I was like, whoa, that was really fun too.
Yeah, I thought they were going to hit us with the fish.
I know, I was concerned.
Great food in there, though. Also, you could check out a Seattle Mariners or Seattle Seahawks game. They play right next to the Amtrak station. Now, it has not been our good fortune. They have always been out of town when we are there. So
every single time.
Yeah, we haven't got to do that.
They don't like to be in town with us.
Another option here in Seattle is you could add 2 to 3 more days here and rent a car and go see the national parks, because you're within driving distance of several national parks. 2 that we've done on this trip are Mount Rainier National Park and North Cascades National Park. Do you recommend one of those over the other?
Both of them. I don't know. I can't pick one. It's like picking a favorite child. I love both of those parks. They're both beautiful. They each have really special, unique things. You really cannot go wrong with the national parks in Washington. Gorgeous, gorgeous, and they're worth every minute to get to.
Yeah, and you can do those in a day. So we did not stay in those parks. We stayed in our Seattle hotel, rented a car, drove to Mount Rainier in one day, saw the park, drove all the way back, stayed in our same hotel, did the next thing the next day with North Cascades, drove all the way there, saw the park, drove back, and I feel like we had enough time.
Oh yes, plenty, because we didn't leave early in the morning, and we didn't get home that late because we got back in time to get dinner at the hotel, so we weren't out that late. We had plenty of time, drive around, explore, take pictures, and just enjoy the beauty of these parks. There's so much there.
All right, the next day of this trip, which is day 6, is going to be Coast Starlight Day. And so you'll be waking up early, you're getting over to the station. This is why you want to be at the Pioneer Square Embassy Suites, because you walk, it's right across the street. You don't have to get a cab or an Uber to get to the station. So you get there, and you're going to be riding from Seattle to Emeryville. And on this train, you know, it doesn't matter quite as much, but actually, we always say you want to be on the coast side. But since you're only going to Emeryville on this one, you actually want to be on the east side. Because if you're on the east side, you will see Mount St. Helens and Mount Hood, or Mount Rainier if it's if it's nice.
Yes,
weather.
and we've only seen them one time in the times that we've taken the Coast Starlight from Seattle.
Yeah, you'll get mountain views if the weather's good, which it may not be. Seattle's kind of notorious for that.
Yeah, it's the Pacific Northwest, so the weather changes by the minute.
Yeah, I just wanted to say, don't worry if you don't get that West Coast view, because you won't be seeing the water on this portion of the Coast Starlight. That happens south of San Francisco. So you will be on this train, not as long as you were on the Empire Builder, but you will be arriving into Seattle or into Emeryville the next day, and you will have time to get off and see the sights of San Francisco if you'd like to, and go into town there. So one thing to note is that the trains do arrive in Emeryville, not San Francisco, and you do have to get transportation into San Francisco.
Right, and you can do that through booking a throughway bus with Amtrak, or you can book your own depending on what you're going to be doing. If you're just going to be, you could check into a hotel in Emeryville and then take your own transportation or tour up into San Francisco, or you can take the through bus and stay in San Francisco, take it back, and then take the train from there. We highly recommend staying by the station since you're going to be getting on the train at this station the next day. And we have some good choices for hotels there. There's a lot of good ones right there.
We do, and they're going to be cheaper in Emeryville than in San Francisco, so it's actually not that far of a drive. You could actually just get an Uber from Emeryville into San Francisco to see all the sights for the day.
Right.
I definitely wouldn't rent a car there, though.
No.
So at the Emeryville station, the closest one is going to be the Hyatt House, Emeryville. So again, you can kind of see so far 2 of the 3 cities we've recommended Hyatt. So definitely there's a World of Hyatt credit card. If you book that, you're going to get so many perks, elite status, and a lot of extra points for booking this. So we have all the details of that on our credit card channel, Grounded Life Finances, if you want to see that. Hyatt House, and then the 4 Points by Sheraton San Francisco Bay Bridge. That's our other one that we do recommend for the Hyatt, for Emeryville, and they are also kind of through Hyatt too. So Hyatt kind of has a good thing going in
Quarter
Emeryville.
on the market there.
We have stayed at the Sonesta in Emeryville. It's a little bit further of a walk, but or drive if you drive, but it was also nice. So there's a lot of restaurants right in the area, though. We've eaten at quite a few of them, plenty to choose from. So you'll get in there. You will have time to explore. Then I think you want to book 2 nights there and take a full day in San Francisco. And what would be the thing you can't miss in San Francisco?
Definitely go see, you'll be driving over the Golden Gate Bridge. Definitely find somewhere to see it and photograph it. It's a beauty. So definitely don't miss that. And just, Lombard Street, you can do that, the curvy road, right?
Yep.
Down there, there's just so much to see. You can do a lot. You can go down to the pier and see that, or you can even, if you're into it, you can even go to Alcatraz and tour that as well. There's a lot in San Francisco. I can't even narrow it down. There's so many things. You could spend a week there and not see what you need to see.
Yeah, and I'm still waiting to get to the new San Francisco Giants baseball field, which again, they've never been in town when we've been there. So we have some bad luck with that. The next day, as she said, though, you're going to be getting on the California Zephyr early. So this is why we stay in Emeryville, because I just don't like having to rush to try to catch a train, because if you miss that train, you're not getting on another train that same day. It's going to be the next day or maybe a couple of days if you're trying to get in a sleeper, because it could be sold out.
Yes.
So
especially if you're doing this in the summer. They're booked for days and days.
They're booked. So you'll be getting on the Zephyr. This is day 9 of our trip, and taking that all the way back to Chicago. So you do have the same choices on this train. All the trains on this itinerary are going to be superliners. So you have all the same choices. Your family bedroom, your roomette, your bedroom, the accessible room, and coach.
And then they do have rooms upper and lower level as well. So the roomettes are on the upper level and the lower level. The family bedroom is downstairs, and the accessible room is downstairs, and then upstairs are the regular bedrooms and the roomettes on the other side.
Yeah, so day 2 of the California Zephyr, no matter which direction you're going, is the highlight of the trip. That is the prettiest stretch of tracks in the United States, because you'll be going through the Colorado Gorges.
Oh my goodness. And they are indeed gorgeous. Gorgeous as in pretty. I tried to make a play on your word, but it doesn't work out as well in voice. It looks better written. Anyways, it is definitely beautiful. There is so much to see. I'm like a little kid in a candy store. I'm like running from one side to the other side. Just there's beauty everywhere and water everywhere and gorgeous views everywhere. You really can't go wrong on this train. Those views, once they start, it's just like boom, boom, boom. They're just all over. It's beautiful.
Yeah, so then your last day on the California Zephyr is the day you'll arrive in Chicago, and it's not going to be quite as spectacular. It is more going through rural America, which can be very pretty and interesting, though. So you will see some of that, and then you'll arrive in. Now, granted, you may be late on some of these trains getting in also, so I want to throw in that I don't recommend booking an experience that you can't get refunded an hour or two after your train is supposed to be arrived. You can expect to be 4 to 5 hours late, right? On most of these.
Yes, I'd say that's about an average on these.
So for that reason, if you're flying or if you're driving, we usually stay the night. Once we get back to Chicago, stay that one more night. We don't have to worry about getting in a car and driving home, unless you live 30 minutes away. But you don't have
then obviously it doesn't matter.
Otherwise, you're just going to stay that last night, and then day 12, the last day, is just going to be your travel home day. So that is the whole trip in a nutshell.
So that's the 12 days.
That's the 12 days.
So now we got to talk numbers.
We got to talk numbers and what you can do.
You mentioned them briefly earlier on what the prices were, so let's break that down a little bit.
So your train cost, if you ride all 3 trains in coach class, you could expect to pay about $750 for 2 people. The thing about coach is you might be able to save money if you're going to do more than this. A lot of trips, you can get the rail pass for $499 each, and that gives you 10 rides. And this whole trip would only count for 3 of your rides. So that's a pretty good deal.
That's insane. Even if that's all you did.
Yeah.
$500 for riding those 3 trains.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So
but that'd be a great way to save some money.
There are times also when the rail pass is on sale for $299 per person. If you get that and you're going to be riding in coach and doing this, then that's definitely the way to go. To ride in a roomette would be roughly about $3,200, I think. You can basically figure they're around $1,000 per leg, depending on when you go and how good of a deal you get. But that's about what we budget, right?
Yeah, it just kind of depends on like, what time of the year you're going, how far in advance you book, and all that kind of stuff. All those things come into play. Again, we have more information about that kind of stuff here on the channel and also on our website, groundedlifetravel.com.
Yeah, and a couple of the money-saving tips. If you do have the Amtrak preferred MasterCard, you will get coupons for a companion pass. And also, you'll get lounge access even if you're in coach, you will be able to get lounge access. So that is something to look into if you're going to be doing this many trips. If you get that preferred MasterCard, you will definitely save money because the MasterCard is only a $99 fee. You'll get either 25,000 or 40,000 points, which can be applied to a free roomette, and you'll get companion coupons.
Yeah.
So if you're going to do this type of trip and you don't have the MasterCard, go check out our video on the Grounded Life Finances Travel because it's going to save you probably like $1,000 just doing that.
Yeah, and the points that they offer, the points bonus that they offer on the card changes all the time. But yeah, go check out that video. It'll break down all the details of what you get and all that kind of good stuff. So
for hotels, most people are doing this in the summer. You can expect about $200 to $250 a night. If you pick the ones near the station that we recommended, it's going to add up to about $1,200 for your budget. And
yeah, obviously depends on how long people choose to stay. If they're using our recommendations here, the $1,200 approximate, but if they're going to stay a little bit longer, obviously that'll be more.
Yeah, so that does put you just right at about $5,000 or a little bit less, depending on how many extra days you do. Not including your food that you buy, but your food is included on the train if you are in a roomette or a bedroom, but not if you're in coach. Now, there's a couple other things people need to know that they just need to have with them for making this trip the best it can be? What's one thing that everybody asks about that they just have to have on this trip?
Absolutely. This is our bestest friend, travel buddy, and it is our travel adapter. And this thing is incredible. Why? Because usually, depending on where you are, you only have one outlet available to you. If you're in coach, you only have one of those 2 outlets on the wall is yours. If you're in a roomette, if you're in a family bedroom or a bedroom or accessible, there are a limited number of outlets. If you have a lot of stuff that you want to charge, and these are a lot of days on the trains, you're going to have to charge some stuff. This is your best pal right here, because this gives you 5, yes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, actually 6 things that you can charge at once. So you've got a USB-C, 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 USB, USB, and a regular outlet, which you can use at the same time as using the USB outlets too. So that's incredible to be able to charge 6 things at once just on this one piece. The beauty here is, and this is why we love it so much, is that you press the button here. So this is a US adapter here. And then you can use also in the UK and in some other cities around the world, like Japan. And then you can also use, I'm having trouble pushing back in. You can also use the European 220 plug as well. So you've got a lot of options here. This is it. This is all you need. You don't have to have a bunch of cords and a bunch of, different things. This is the one to have. And we have the link for this down in the description, and you can also find it over on our website.
Yeah, it's right on. If you go right to groundedlifetravel.com, it's one of the very top articles, 20 things that you need on your Amtrak vacation. There's 19 other things that we recommend that we're not telling you about here, but that's the one that everybody asks about.
This is the one. This isn't even paid advertising. This is literally just, we love this thing so much. We always talk about it. I'm sure you guys have seen it and heard about it.
Yeah, so that is our favorite Amtrak trip. What we would do, we've done that trip several times, and that's exactly how we would book it.
Yeah, absolutely. And, again, you can book this on your own if you want to. There are other ways to do that as well. Or you can do it, like I said, in the app, or call them up and have them help you, assist you with booking it. But, it's a really fun adventure to, like I said earlier, just to see the whole U.S., all the different parts of the country. And yeah, there's a few, bits of it missing, but you do get to see a lot of the countries, and it's just so beautiful, and some things that you can't see if you were doing like a road trip.
Exactly.
Yeah, you couldn't see those gorges in Colorado if you're in a car, because a lot of it is only accessible by the train. So hopefully, guys, you can use this video and also supplement with the website, groundedlifetravel.com, to get all this information together and to put your trip together. If you have any questions or comments, leave those down in the comments. You can also comment down there freely. If you enjoyed this video, give us a like. We're gonna have a lot more like this coming up soon. And if you want the information on the credit cards, head over to Grounded Life Finances. We've got all of the details there, digging into what all is involved with getting various credit cards for travel use. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and guys, we hope to see you on the rails.